an advantage because when I first professionally got into the music business, when I got into the music business, when I signed to Rap A Lot, I was still trying to learn my way. So you can just only imagine I'm a new guy trying to learn my way. And while I'm trying to learn my way through things, I got legends like John Beto, Mike Dean, N.O. Joe, Scarface, all these people around me. So it's like you're either going to sink or you're going to swim. So being that I'm around people that were producing records at such a high level, especially, Mike Dean and Scarface and N.O. Joe, Scarface especially, this guy was just, he expected upper echelon type of stuff. It had to be over the top. So you around those type of people and you making tracks for them, different stuff like that, it has to sound good. That's when I really learned about sound selection and different stuff like that. Separation of drums, sound, and people, all that kind of stuff. I learned all that stuff just being around those guys. So I had people that were mentoring me indirectly and showing me different things. It was a high part that was raised that I had to meet, you know what I mean? So that was an advantage that I had. I think a lot of people take Rap A Lot for granted in my point of view, and I say that, especially now, the older Mr. Lee can say that, unequivocally, I can say it because Rap A Lot, not only did he keep his independence, and he kept the power to do the things that he wanted to do, but he also gave everybody else chances. Without Rap A Lot, I wouldn't even be where I'm in now. We wouldn't be doing this interview. I was a millionaire probably about a year and a half after I signed Rap A Lot. I went from selling tracks to $500 the first few months to going from $500 to $10,000 in 4 months. Years later, it was $25,000. I was averaging $100,000 a project at Rap A Lot, and I was doing 3 or 4 of them a year. I went from a 800 square foot apartment to a 7,000 square foot house I built from the ground. So the opportunity was great there. I think he gets a bad rep. I only say that because it's a lot of stories out there about what Rap A Lot did and what J Prince done and who ain't get paid and all of this kind of stuff. If you had to take J Prince in the past and take the present of what people do in business now, it's 2 million times worse. I've never been in a situation where a record that came out that I did for a Rap A Lot artist and I wasn't paid for it before it came out. I've never experienced a rapper rapping on a record that I did and not getting half of the advance before it came out. So it was just way different rules and different stuff like that. And I think that without Rap A Lot, the South definitely wouldn't be what it is. So, they're definitely a staple, and just the way that he did business, it taught me a lot. I've been able to sustain my career because of going through Rap A Lot. I don't think if I had went any other route that I would be able to sustain a career over 27 years if I had went through Rap A Lot. I mean, there's different versions of records, several versions of different records. Like the Thug Niggas record from Master P and Scarface. It was several different versions of that record that people didn't get a chance to hear. There were albums that we've done and just were immaculate work that never came out. I have a Chunk Up the Deuce record that I did for Lil Kiki. It was a version of that record done with a Twilight Zone sample in it that was harder than the record that actually came out. So it's just, man, I've been doing it for 27 years. I have a vault. There's a vault at Rap A Lot's main office, and I guarantee you there have to be about at least 1,000 or more D88 tapes of sessions that I did while I was signed to Rap A Lot. I was going through so many song deals at Rap A Lot, they stopped signing me. I was going through 40 song deals at Rap A Lot in less than a year. And they were just like, you know what? We're not even going to try to write this contract up anymore because you're just going through it too fast. But I was a workhorse there. So saying about gems of records, there are so many that I wish that we can just dig up and put out now that people can hear. So it's just a ton of stories that way, for sure. I mean, personally, for me, I had some hardships. So I was, just long story short, I was on the run the time that I signed a rapper life. So I had like a 10-year sentence on my head for drugs and, simple burglary and stuff like that when I was younger. So when I moved to Houston, I was on a run from Louisiana. So I was in a position that I had to make a decision. Either I'm going to stay in the streets or try to make something out of my life and do something different. So just that alone with the VP of Rap Life, Big Chief was my manager. And he installed in me a work ethic that didn't allow me to gloat and celebrate a lot of stuff that I was doing. He made sure that I stayed working. No one knew what my circumstances were, but I was so hungry and so focused until I was to this day, I still do this. I was doing 10 tracks a day at least. So I'm still doing that right now. I do at least 10 tracks a day right now. And he installed that work ethic in me. And once I learned how to mix and engineer, then I was a full package. When people came to the studio, I was able to hands down do everything. So that's why if you go back and you look at the history of Rap Life from 1996 to like 2004, I had like at least 5 to 6 records on every album that came out.